Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Vietnamese ebook before it's gone. Do you feel like you don't speak enough Vietnamese? That you need to know more words? Then stick around. With these lessons, you'll pick up some of the most common words in just a few minutes. Now, this video is a small portion of our learning program. To get the full lessons, translations, and Fluency Fast study tools, click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account. Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to use when talking with friends. After watching this video, you'll be able to have a casual conversation with a friend, and to say something is super. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa. Ồ, nó chất quá nhỉ?
Once more with the English translation.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
Hey, look at that car.
Ồ, nó chất quá nhỉ?
Wow, that's super cool. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, hey, look at that car. That's,
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
listen to it again.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa. Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
This Vietnamese sentence literally translates as, hey, see that car. But it means, hey, look at that car. Now, how do you respond to this? First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, wow. That's,
Ồ. Ồ.
then you'll need to learn how to say, that's super adjective. The pattern is
Nó
adjective.
quá nhỉ?
This Vietnamese sentence literally translates as, it's adjective much. But it means, that's super adjective. For example, that's super cool.
Nó chất quá nhỉ? Nó chất quá nhỉ?
Here are a few more words you can use with the same pattern to talk about something. Cool,
Chất. Chất.
cool,
Chất.
beautiful,
Đẹp. Đẹp.
beautiful,
Đẹp.
new,
Mới. Mới.
new,
Mới.
fast,
Nhanh. Nhanh.
fast.
Nhanh.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa. Nó đẹp quá nhỉ?
Hey, look at that car.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
That's super beautiful.
Nó đẹp quá nhỉ? Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
Nó mới quá nhỉ?
Hey, look at that car.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
That's super new.
Nó mới quá nhỉ?
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
Nó nhanh quá nhỉ?
Hey, look at that car.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
That's super fast.
Nó nhanh quá nhỉ?
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, hey, look at that car?
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
Imagine you want to say something is super beautiful. Do you remember how to say beautiful?
Đẹp, đẹp.
Say, that's super beautiful.
Nó đẹp quá nhỉ?
Now respond using beautiful.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa. Nó đẹp quá nhỉ?
Now imagine you want to say something is super new. Do you remember how to say new?
Mới, mới.
Say, that's super new.
Nó mới quá nhỉ?
Now respond using new.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
Nó mới quá nhỉ?
Now, imagine you want to say something is super fast. Do you remember how to say fast?
Nhanh, nhanh.
Say, that's super fast.
Nó nhanh quá nhỉ?
Now respond using fast.
Này, nhìn chiếc ô tô đó kìa.
Nó nhanh quá nhỉ?
In this lesson, you learned new vocabulary and phrases you can use to talk with friends. You're now able to have a casual conversation like a native speaker. Start by practicing in the comments below. Tell me and your fellow learners what you think is super cool. Lastly, don't forget to click the link in the description and download your PDF cheat sheets. You'll get useful phrases you need for everyday life for free. See you in the next lesson. Bye! Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools.
In this video, you'll learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in Vietnamese. Hi everybody, my name is Linh. Welcome to the 800 Core Vietnamese Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in Vietnamese. But there's a twist. With each new lesson in this series, we'll include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important parts of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at VietnamesePod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master Vietnamese. Okay, let's get started. First is Xin chào. Hello. Xin chào. Xin chào. Hello. Xin chào, bạn có khỏe không? Hello, how are you? Xin chào, bạn có khỏe không? Xin lỗi. Excuse me. Xin lỗi. Xin lỗi. Excuse me. Xin lỗi, cho tôi mượn cái bút được không? Excuse me, may I borrow your pen? Xin lỗi, cho tôi mượn cái bút được không? Tôi xin lỗi. I'm sorry. Tôi xin lỗi. Tôi xin lỗi. I'm sorry. Chúng tôi xin lỗi vì sự bất tiện mà chúng tôi đã gây ra. Sorry for the inconvenience that may cause us. Chúng tôi xin lỗi vì sự bất tiện mà chúng tôi đã gây ra. Chúc ngủ ngon. Good night. Chúc ngủ ngon. Chúc ngủ ngon. Good night. Tôi đi đây, chúc ngủ ngon. I'll go now. Good night. Tôi đi đây, chúc ngủ ngon. Rất vui được gặp bạn. Nice to meet you. Rất vui được gặp bạn. Rất vui được gặp bạn. Nice to meet you. Rất vui được gặp anh. Nice to meet you, sir. Rất vui được gặp anh. Bạn có khỏe không? How are you? Bạn có khỏe không? Bạn có khỏe không? How are you? Chào Mary, bạn có khỏe không? Hello, how are you, Mary? Chào Mary, bạn có khỏe không? Vâng. Yes. Vâng. Vâng. Yes. Vâng, tôi đã đến đó 3 lần. Yes, I've been there 3 times. Vâng, tôi đã đến đó 3 lần. Không. No. Không. Không. No. Không có người đàn ông nào trong khu hành chính của tôi. There are no men in my division. Không có người đàn ông nào trong khu hành chính của tôi. Cảm ơn. Thank you. Cảm ơn. Cảm ơn. Thank you. Cảm ơn chị đã giúp. Thank you for your help. Cảm ơn chị đã giúp. Tôi là I'm. Tôi là tôi là I'm. Tôi là Lan. I am Lan. Tôi là Lan. Tạm biệt. Goodbye. Tạm biệt. Tạm biệt. Goodbye. Chào tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại. Goodbye and see you again. Chào tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại. Xấu, hư. Bad. Xấu, hư. Xấu, hư. Bad. Nó là một thằng bé hư. He's a bad boy. Nó là một thằng bé hư. Tốt. Good. Tốt. Tốt. Good. Rau tốt cho bạn. Vegetables are good for you. Rau tốt cho bạn. Xinh xắn, đẹp. Pretty. Xinh xắn, đẹp. Xinh xắn, đẹp. Pretty. Chiếc váy này của bạn rất đẹp. Your dress is very pretty. Chiếc váy này của bạn rất đẹp. Xấu, ugly. Xấu, xấu, ugly. Con chó đó xấu quá. That is a very ugly dog. Con chó đó xấu quá. Dễ, easy. Dễ, dễ, easy. Có, nó dễ ăn. Yes, it's easy to eat. Có, nó dễ ăn. Khó, difficult. Khó, khó, difficult. Bài kiểm tra ngày thứ tư sẽ khó. Wednesday's test will be difficult. Bài kiểm tra ngày thứ tư sẽ khó. Gần, near. Gần, gần, near. Tôi sống gần trường đại học. I live near the university. Tôi sống gần trường đại học. Xa, far. Xa, xa, far. Ga ở cách xa chỗ này. The station is far from here. Ga ở cách xa chỗ này. Nhỏ, small. Nhỏ, nhỏ. Small. Căn phòng này quá nhỏ. This room is too small. Căn phòng này quá nhỏ. Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at VietnamesePod101.com to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversations. You'll also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time! Tạm biệt!
Welcome to VietnamesePod101.com's 3 phút học tiếng Việt, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Vietnamese. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Hi, I'm Giang. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Vietnamese expressions. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Vietnamese. There are only 2 sentences you need to remember. You will first learn a neutral way to introduce yourself, which sounds okay in both formal and informal situations. Let's first see how Vietnamese people generally introduce themselves. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Hi, I'm Giang. Nice to meet you. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Start by saying, xin chào, tôi là. Then say your name. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Finally say, rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Let's break this down and see what it means. Xin chào means hi or hello, and it is used in both formal and informal situations. It can also be used at any time of the day, though the equivalents of good morning, good afternoon, and good evening do exist. Vietnamese people don't normally use them in their daily conversation. So you have to remember only 2 words. Xin chào. Isn't it convenient? Tôi là Giang. That's how Vietnamese people introduce themselves. Tôi là is similar to I am, and you simply need to add your name to this. Though there's a more formal way to introduce your name in Vietnamese, which I'll mention later. Using tôi là plus your name is neutral and sounds okay in any circumstances. Tôi là Giang. Pretty easy, right? And now, let's look at the last sentence. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Rất vui means I'm very happy. And được làm quen với bạn means to get to know you or to get acquainted with you. Vietnamese people usually look forward to a closer relationship in the future, so they tend to say I'm happy to get to know you rather than just I'm happy to meet you. So again, rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Let's put everything together. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Hi, I'm Giang. Nice to meet you. Not very difficult, right? Well, as I mentioned earlier, there's a more formal way to introduce yourself in Vietnamese. That is, xin chào, tôi tên là Giang. Rất hân hạnh được làm quen với bạn. So, what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at these together. Notice that the word xin chào doesn't change, but the way you say your name is longer. One more word is added. Tôi tên là instead of tôi là. So instead of saying I am, you say my name is. Tôi tên là Giang. My name is Giang. And the last sentence. Rất hân hạnh được làm quen với bạn. It's my pleasure to get to know you. So, unless you go to Vietnam for business, it is advisable that you stick to the previous introduction. One more time. The general way to introduce yourself in Vietnamese is Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. The formal way to introduce yourself is Xin chào, tôi tên là Giang. Rất hân hạnh được làm quen với bạn. Now it's time for Giang's insights. Vietnamese people are not familiar with personal touches when meeting each other, so kissing or hugging is not recommended, though business people and male friends do shake hands when they meet. For the first meeting, simply introducing yourself with a smile is the best way to get to know a Vietnamese person. Do you know how we say thank you in Vietnamese? You'll learn how to say this and many other words in the next lesson. Hẹn gặp lại các bạn. See you then.
Xin chào, tôi tên là Giang. Bạn tên là gì?
Chào Giang, tôi tên là Mary.
Rất vui được gặp bạn.
Tôi cũng vậy.
In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Vietnamese. Bạn đã sẵn sàng chưa? Are you ready? Chúng ta cùng bắt đầu nhé. So, let's start. The general greeting in Vietnamese is Xin chào. Xin chào. Xin chào means hi or hello and is used when we meet each other. As I already mentioned in the first lesson, you can say Xin chào in both formal and informal situations as well as at any time of the day. Vietnamese people do not distinguish which part of the day they are meeting when greeting each other. So such words as good morning, good afternoon, or good evening are basically not in use. When leaving, we say tạm biệt, tạm biệt. Tạm biệt literally means goodbye and is considered both formal and informal. Finally, see you soon in Vietnamese is hẹn gặp lại. And again, it is used both formally and informally. The more intimate way to say see you soon is hẹn gặp lại nhé. Nhé literally has no meaning. It is added at the end just to make the sentence more natural and melodious. Hẹn gặp lại. Hẹn gặp lại nhé. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Vietnamese. Let's review them all again. When meeting each other at any time of day, xin chào. When leaving, tạm biệt. When we will see the other person again, hẹn gặp lại. Hẹn gặp lại nhé. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Giang's insights. A more natural way to greet someone is to remove the word xin and just say chào with a pronoun appropriate for the listener. Vietnamese language consists of a complicated system of pronouns which vary according to gender, age, and the closeness of the relationship. For example, chào bạn, chào anh, chào chị, chào em, chào chú, chào bác, chào cô. Well, this sounds complex, right? But once you learn more, you'll find them interesting. Anyway, the easiest and safest way to greet someone is saying xin chào and just that. Pretty convenient, isn't it? During the next lesson, we will learn the meaning of the phrase Bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? Do you already know it? We'll be waiting to talk about it with you in our next 3 phút học tiếng Việt lesson. Tạm biệt, hẹn gặp lại.
Xin hỏi, cheese tiếng Việt nói thế nào?
Format.
Xin lỗi, tôi chưa kịp nghe. Làm ơn nói lại lần nữa.
Format.
Làm ơn nói chậm hơn một chút.
Format.
Làm ơn viết từ đó bằng tiếng Việt giúp tôi.
Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Hi everybody, I'm Giang. Welcome to VietnamesePod101.com's 3 phút học tiếng Việt, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Vietnamese. In the last lesson, we learned the most common forms of greetings in Vietnamese. Do you remember them? In this lesson, we're going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking in Vietnamese, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if the answer is no. First, here's the informal way to say it. Bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? Bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? Let's break it down. Bạn is the equivalent of you in Vietnamese. But as I mentioned in previous lessons, the Vietnamese language has a complicated system of pronouns, and the way you address the person you're speaking to depends on gender, age, and how close a relationship you have with him or her. Bạn is the most general pronoun you can use in this case because it can refer to someone younger than you, someone about your age, or someone several years older than you. Có biết nói literally means knows how to speak, and tiếng Anh means English. So the sentence can literally be translated as, do you know how to speak English? Or, can you speak English? Finally, did you notice the last word of the question? Không literally means no in Vietnamese, but when it is added at the end of a statement, a yes-no question is formed. It is a grammatical point that you will learn in more details later. Now, let's practice the question one more time. Bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? We are now going to make this sentence formal. It is very simple. You just need to add 2 more words at the beginning of the previous question and keeping the rest unchanged. Xin hỏi, bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? Xin hỏi, bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? Xin hỏi means exactly the same as excuse me. When you add these words at the beginning of any question, it becomes more polite. The responses you will receive could be any one of these 3. Có, yes. Có. Một chút thôi, a little. Một chút thôi. Không, tôi không biết nói tiếng Anh. No, I don't speak English. Không, tôi không biết nói tiếng Anh. Since this last one is a negative statement, the verb is the opposite of the verb used in the question. The question asks, do you know? Có biết. And the answer is, don't know. Không biết. The subject has also been changed from bạn, you, to tôi, I, and the question word at the end, không, is omitted. Again, the complete answer is, không, tôi không biết nói tiếng Anh. No, I don't speak English. Now, it's time for Giang's insights. If you still remember the list of pronouns I mentioned in the last lessons, you can choose a suitable pronoun for the person you're talking to instead of using bạn in the question. But when you're talking to an older person, the word ạ is added at the end of the question to show respect. For example, anh có biết nói tiếng Anh không ạ? Chị có biết nói tiếng Anh không ạ? Bác có biết nói tiếng Anh không ạ? In this lesson, we mentioned the expression xin hỏi, which means excuse me. But do you know how to say sorry in Vietnamese? In the next lesson, we will learn this and other ways to apologize in Vietnamese. It's never too late to show your good manners with Vietnamese people. I'll see you in our next 3 phút học tiếng Việt lesson. Hẹn gặp lại!
Xin chào, tôi tên là An. Xin chào, tôi tên là Mary. Rất vui được gặp bạn. Tôi cũng vậy. Tạm biệt, hẹn gặp lại.
In this video, you'll learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in Vietnamese. Hi everybody, my name is Ling. Welcome to the 800 Core Vietnamese Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in Vietnamese. But there's a twist. With each new lesson in this series, we'll include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lesson. Reviewing is one of the most important parts of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at VietnamesePod101.com. Hit the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master Vietnamese. Okay, let's get started. First is hôm nay, today. Hôm nay, hôm nay, today. Hôm nay lúc 6 giờ 15 phút. Today at 6:15. Hôm nay lúc 6 giờ 15 phút. Ngày hôm qua. Yesterday. Ngày hôm qua. Ngày hôm qua. Yesterday. Tôi đã nghỉ làm ngày hôm qua. I took a day off yesterday. Tôi đã nghỉ làm ngày hôm qua. Ngày mai. Tomorrow. Ngày mai. Ngày mai. Tomorrow. Hẹn gặp lại bạn ngày mai. See you tomorrow. Hẹn gặp lại bạn ngày mai. Tuần. Week. Tuần. Tuần. Week. Một tuần có 7 ngày. There are 7 days in a week. Một tuần có 7 ngày. 5. Year. 5. 5. Year. Một năm có 12 tháng. There are 12 months in a year. Một năm có 12 tháng. Giây. Second. Giây. Giây. Second. Một phút có 60 giây. There are 60 seconds in the minute. Một phút có 60 giây. Phút. Minute. Phút. Phút. Minute. Một phút có 60 giây. There are 60 seconds in a minute. 1 phút có 60 giây. Giờ. Hour. Giờ. Giờ. Hour. Tôi sẽ từ chỗ làm về nhà trong 1 giờ nữa. I'll be home from work in an hour. Tôi sẽ từ chỗ làm về nhà trong 1 giờ nữa. Đồng hồ. Clock. Đồng hồ. Đồng hồ. Clock. Cái đồng hồ treo tường đang được treo trên tường. The wall clock is hanging on the wall. Cái đồng hồ treo tường đang được treo trên tường. Giờ. O'clock. Giờ. Giờ. O'clock. Bây giờ là 10 giờ. It's 10 o'clock. Bây giờ là 10 giờ. Lịch. Calendar. Lịch. Lịch. Calendar. Tôi đã đánh dấu ngày kỷ niệm của chúng tôi trên lịch. I marked our anniversary on the calendar. Tôi đã đánh dấu ngày kỷ niệm của chúng tôi trên lịch. Thứ hai. Monday. Thứ hai. Thứ hai. Monday. Tuần làm việc bắt đầu vào thứ hai. The work week starts on Monday. Tuần làm việc bắt đầu vào thứ hai. Thứ ba. Tuesday. Thứ ba. Thứ ba. Tuesday. Ngày 1 tháng 1 năm nay rơi vào thứ ba. January 1st falls on a Tuesday this year. Ngày 1 tháng 1 năm nay rơi vào thứ ba. Thứ tư. Wednesday. Thứ tư. Thứ tư. Wednesday. Chúng tôi chơi bài ở nhà tôi vào tối thứ tư hàng tuần. Wednesday nights we play poker at my house. Chúng tôi chơi bài ở nhà tôi vào tối thứ tư hàng tuần. Thứ năm. Thursday. Thứ năm. Thứ năm. Thursday. Ngày mai là thứ tư và ngày kia là thứ năm. Tomorrow is Wednesday and the day after tomorrow is Thursday. Ngày mai là thứ tư và ngày kia là thứ năm. Thứ sáu. Friday. Thứ sáu. Thứ sáu. Friday. Hãy viết kế hoạch của ngày thứ sáu lên lịch. Write the plans for Friday on the calendar. Hãy viết kế hoạch của ngày thứ sáu lên lịch. Thứ bảy. Saturday. Thứ bảy. Thứ bảy. Saturday. Không có kế hoạch gì cho thứ bảy. No plans for Saturday. Không có kế hoạch gì cho thứ bảy. Chủ nhật. Sunday. Chủ nhật. Chủ nhật. Sunday. Chủ nhật là ngày của cha. Sunday is Father's Day. Chủ nhật là ngày của cha. Làm. Do. Làm. Làm. Do. Tôi có quá nhiều việc để làm. I have so much work to do. Tôi có quá nhiều việc để làm. Đi. Go. Đi. Đi. Go. Họ đi Los Angeles. The people go to Los Angeles. Họ đi Los Angeles. Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at VietnamesePod101.com to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversations. You'll also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time! Tạm biệt!
Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Hi everybody, I'm Giang. Welcome to VietnamesePod101.com's 3 phút học tiếng Việt, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Vietnamese. In the last lesson, we learned some words used when apologizing in Vietnamese, including xin hỏi and xin lỗi. In this lesson, we are going to learn numbers in Vietnamese. Yes, numbers. Số đếm, from 1 to 10, and you're going to learn them in only 3 minutes. 3 phút. Are you ready? Let's start. 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 6 7 7 8 8 9 9 10 10 Okay, now repeat after me. I say the numbers and give you time to repeat each one. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Great job! What's before 1? Do you know? In Vietnamese, 0 is không. It's the same word as no in Vietnamese. Không. Now, you don't have any more excuses. You can give your friends your cell phone number in Vietnamese. Let's try together. We'll use the phrase số điện thoại của tôi là, which means my phone number is. Số điện thoại của tôi là. Số điện thoại của tôi là 090 4679 1805. Can you read it by yourself? 090 4679 1805. Perfect! Now, it's time for Giang's insights. Vietnamese people believe that each number has meaning, so they are very careful in choosing their cell phone numbers. Many of them even spend a lot of money to get their desired numbers. Do you know what numbers are the most popular? They are 6 and 8, because Vietnamese people believe that these two numbers represent happiness and wealth. Do you know the Vietnamese word for 100? In the next lesson, we're going to learn the numbers from 11 to 100 in Vietnamese. Your task now is to practice the numbers we studied in this lesson, from 1 to 10. Tạm biệt.
Bạn bao nhiêu tuổi? Tôi 20 tuổi. Còn bạn? Tôi 23 tuổi. Bạn sinh năm nào? Tôi sinh năm 89. Ồ, vậy hơn tuổi tôi rồi. Tôi phải gọi bạn là chị nhỉ? Đúng rồi.
We're going to learn how to go shopping in Vietnam. Before we go, you need to know how to say how much is it? Bao nhiêu tiền? Bao nhiêu tiền? Are you ready to go shopping in Vietnam? Let's go! You see something you like and want to ask the shopkeeper how much it costs. The first thing to say is xin hỏi. Do you remember what that means? Excuse me. Xin hỏi bao nhiêu tiền? Xin hỏi bao nhiêu tiền? If we want to be more specific when asking how much is this and refer to a certain type of object, to say something like how much is this hat, we need to add a noun classifier, then the object itself, and finally the word này, which means this. Put bao nhiêu tiền after this phrase. So, hat in Vietnamese is mũ. Cái is the general classifier for objects. Cái mũ này means this hat. Xin hỏi, cái mũ này bao nhiêu tiền? Excuse me, how much is this hat? If you want to refer to an animal, use the classifier con. Here's an example with chicken, which is called gà. Xin hỏi, con gà này bao nhiêu tiền? Excuse me, how much is this chicken? Xin hỏi, con gà này bao nhiêu tiền? At this point, the shopkeeper will simply answer with the price. To say a price in Vietnamese, first, say the number, then add the word nghìn, which means 1,000. Because $1 is equal to about 20,000 Vietnamese đồng. We always talk in big numbers when saying prices in Vietnamese. For example, the shopkeeper can say 40.000, 40,000 đồng. Notice that the currency unit đồng is not needed here. Now that you have learned how to say the numbers from 1 to 100 in Vietnamese, I guess you can catch this price easily, right? Now, it's time for Giang's insights. Vietnamese people tend to add particles at the end of sentences to make it more melodic and natural. Here you can say bao nhiêu tiền vậy? Vậy is a particle, usually added at the end of a question. As I said, its function is to help you sound more natural and intimate. For example, at a cafe, you can ask, một cappuccino bao nhiêu tiền vậy? One cappuccino, how much is it? At this point, can you count currency in Vietnamese? We are going to learn how to do this and much more in the next lesson. I'll be waiting for you in our next 3 phút học tiếng Việt lesson. Tạm biệt.
Cà phê của chị đây.
Cảm ơn.
Không có gì. Của chị 15.000.
Gửi anh.
Xin cảm ơn.
You've studied for a while and are ready to talk to people and practice what you've learned. But where do you start? Starting a conversation in a new language can seem a bit intimidating. How do you just jump into it? In this video, we'll look at 5 ways to start conversations. Number 1, introduce yourself in your target language. This is usually one of the first things you learn when you start studying a new language. And sometimes, starting a conversation, or continuing one, is as simple as introducing yourself. Number 2, talking about the weather. This is a universal talking point. People talk about the weather all over the world. And just saying, it's really nice today, is enough to start a conversation. A great way to practice your weather conversation skills is to check out our Can-Do lesson pathway. This series of lessons teaches you how to talk about the weather in your target language. Number 3, give compliments. Compliments are a great way to start a conversation. You can compliment something about your conversation partner's city, country, or something specific to them personally. Hey, your bag is super cute, or that ice cream looks delicious. These kinds of compliments can lead to further conversation about what you complimented. In this case, it could be fashion or a local restaurant. This is a great way to make quick connections with people. Number 4, ask for help. For example, you can ask for directions, ask about prices, or request recommendations for restaurants or shopping spots, and let the conversation go from there. People are usually happy to lend a helping hand to tourists who are visiting their city. Number 5, learn phrases for transactions. This can include getting a room at a hotel or telling a taxi driver where to go. When you're traveling overseas, you'll need to talk to other people in your target language. And while this might be a bit scary at first, you'll find that the people you meet are just happy that you're trying to communicate with them. So get started talking in your target language now. For even more tips on how to start conversations, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Vietnamese ebook before it's gone.